In the vast tapestry of Norse mythology, few tales resonate with as much grandeur, sorrow, and hope as that of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. This epic story, passed down through generations, is not simply a tale of destruction. Rather, it is a profound meditation on destiny, sacrifice, loss, and the unfaltering promise of rebirth. Today, let us journey together through the chilling omens, the cataclysmic battles, and the ultimate renewal that define Ragnarok, the final saga of the gods. Our story begins with a sense of foreboding. The gods themselves, mighty yet mortal, are subject to fate, and none is more aware of their coming doom than Odin, the Allfather. To pierce the veils of what is to come, Odin seeks out a Volva, a seeress whose wisdom stretches beyond death. In the haunting verses of the Voluspa, she recounts to Odin the unalterable destiny awaiting the gods. Odin listens, burdened by the knowledge that even gods cannot escape what must be. The first harbinger of Ragnarok is not fire or war, but winter, Fimbulwinter, the Great Winter. Unlike any before, this winter is relentless, a cold that claws deep into the bones of gods and men alike. For 3 years, the world is locked in an endless blizzard, the sun barely piercing the gray sky. Snow falls from every direction, and the warmth of summer is but a distant memory. The land is silent, save for the howl of the wind. In the first year, snow buries the land, and the cold is so fierce that the rivers freeze solid, and the breath of life seems to flee the earth. The second year sees the death of forests and the extinction of beasts. Crops wither, and men grow gaunt from hunger. By the third year, the very fabric of society unravels. Brothers turn against one another, driven mad by desperation. The bonds of kinship, honor, and trust shatter. Deceit, betrayal, and violence become the currency of survival. It is a world unrecognizable, devoid of mercy, faith, and hope. Heimdall, the ever-vigilant guardian of the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge, watches as chaos spreads. When the moment is right, he brings forth the Gjallarhorn, a horn whose sound reverberates through all 9 realms. Its note is both a warning and a summons, calling the gods to arms, for the end is upon them. But the collapse of the world is not wrought by winter alone. From the depths of the earth and the farthest reaches of the cosmos, the forces of darkness begin to stir. Loki, once a companion of the gods, is now their greatest foe. Imprisoned for his role in the death of Balder, Loki's suffering is immense. Bound in a cave, tormented by the venom of a serpent, yet his spirit is unbroken. When the bonds are shattered, Loki emerges, consumed by vengeance and fury. He rallies the ancient enemies of the gods, the Jotnar, the giants of Jotunheim, and all those who have waited for this moment of reckoning. With his followers, Loki sails the ship Naglfar, constructed from the fingernails and toenails of the dead, a grotesque vessel that rides the swollen, storm-tossed seas towards the battlefield. His sons, too, rise against the gods. Fenrir, the monstrous wolf, breaks free from the magical fetters that once held him. His jaws gape wide, stretching from earth to sky, and in his hunger, he devours the sun and moon, plunging the world into darkness. From the ocean's depths, Jörmungandr, the Midgard serpent, slithers forth. He encircles the world, and as he rises, the seas boil. Tidal waves crash against the land, and his venom fills the air, poisoning the sky and water alike. The earth itself trembles beneath his weight. In the shadowy realm of Helheim, Hel, the pale, half-living queen, unleashes her legions. The dead, denied the glory of Valhalla, surge forth in a tide of restless souls. With them come plagues and pestilence, sweeping across the world and leaving only suffering in their wake. The stage is set for the final confrontation, a battle to end all battles. On the plain of Vigrid, vast beyond measure, the forces of order and chaos assemble. On one side stand the Aesir, the gods of Asgard, Odin, armored and bearing his mighty spear, Gungnir, astride his 8-legged steed, Sleipnir, Thor, the Thunderer, wielding the hammer, Mjolnir, Freyr, the generous, though bereft of his magical sword, Tyr, the one-handed god of war, Heimdall, ever watchful, and the Einherjar, the heroic dead of Valhalla, arrayed in shining armor. Their allies, the light elves of Alfheim, lend their strength to the cause. Against them stand the hosts of darkness. Loki commands the giants, fire and frost alike, while Fenrir and Jörmungandr loom as living calamities. Surtur, the fire giant from Muspelheim, brandishes a sword of living flame, destined to set the world ablaze. From Helheim march the armies of the dead, marching in silent, inexorable ranks. The battle erupts with a fury beyond imagining. Odin faces Fenrir, knowing full well the prophecy that marks his doom. The Allfather fights with wisdom and power, but even he cannot prevail against fate. Fenrir's jaws close around Odin, swallowing the king of the gods whole. Yet vengeance is swift. Vidar, Odin's silent and powerful son, steps forward. With the strength of the earth itself, he tears open Fenrir's maw, slaying the beast and avenging his father. Elsewhere, Thor and Jörmungandr meet in a clash of titans. Lightning splits the sky as Thor hammers the serpent, and the earth quakes with each blow. At last, Thor crushes Jörmungandr's skull, but not before the serpent's venom seeps into his veins. With his final breaths, Thor takes 9 steps before succumbing, his lifeless body falling beside his ancient foe. Heimdall and Loki confront one another, each a mirror of the other's cunning and resolve. Blades flash, and the two are locked in a fatal embrace. Their struggle ends in mutual destruction, each dealt a mortal blow by the other's hand. Freyr, once the harbinger of peace and fertility, faces Surtur, the avatar of fire and destruction. Without his sword, Freyr is overmatched, yet he fights with unmatched bravery. He falls, but not before buying precious time for the world. As the battle wanes, Surtur raises his flaming sword high. With a swing, he sets the world ablaze. Flames leap from realm to realm. The sky is alight with fire. The great world tree, Yggdrasil, shudders as the conflagration consumes all. Mountains are leveled, oceans boil, and the land is swallowed by fire and flood. The 9 realms, Asgard, Midgard, Jotunheim, and all others, are reduced to ash and ruin. Silence falls. The world is undone. Yet even in destruction, hope endures. In the aftermath, from the charred remains and the cooling embers, life begins anew. Not all are lost to oblivion. Some gods, marked by fate to survive, emerge from the shadows of ruin. Vidar and Vali, sons of Odin, step forth, unscathed by the inferno. Modi and Magni, sons of Thor, inherit their father's strength and his legendary hammer, Mjolnir. From the underworld, Baldur returns, radiant and gentle, accompanied by his brother Hoder, both now free from the shadow of death. Honir, wise and enigmatic, takes up the mantle of prophecy, guiding the new order. Hidden deep within the sheltering roots of Yggdrasil, 2 humans, Lif and Lifthrasir, have survived the cataclysm. Their names, Life and Desire of Life, are fitting, for they will become the progenitors of a renewed human race. Emerging into the dawn of a new world, they gaze upon a land transformed. The air is pure, the earth green and fertile. Rivers flow with fresh water, forests bloom, and fields await the touch of the plow. A new sun, the daughter of the old, rises in the sky, casting her golden light over the land. There is no more war, no more treachery. In Idavol, the field of renewal, the surviving gods gather to rebuild and remember. There is peace, and the wounds of the old world begin to heal. Beyond the literal, the story of Ragnarök carries deep philosophical meaning. It is not simply a tale of annihilation, but of the eternal cycle, death and rebirth, winter and spring, despair and hope. The gods, for all their might, are not above fate. They fight not because they believe they can avert destiny, but because courage and honor demand that they do. Their sacrifices, Odin's wisdom, Thor's strength, Freyr's generosity, pave the way for a world cleansed of old evils. This vision of renewal has echoed through centuries, inspiring countless works of art, literature, and music. Richard Wagner immortalized the saga in his operatic masterpiece, Götterdämmerung, weaving the themes of destiny and redemption into a stirring finale. J.R.R. Tolkien drew upon the mythic structure of Ragnarok when crafting the epic battles and bittersweet endings of The Lord of the Rings. Modern interpretations, from graphic novels to blockbuster films and celebrated video games, have reimagined the tale for new generations. Yet the core remains unchanged. From chaos and loss springs the possibility of something greater. In our era, Ragnarok offers a powerful metaphor for the challenges we face. Fimbulwinter, with its unyielding cold, is reminiscent of the threats of climate change and ecological disaster. The battles and betrayals, the collapse and renewal, speak to the cycles of history and the resilience of the human spirit. Even in the bleakest moments, the Norse myth assures us that renewal is possible, that hope survives the flames. There are enduring lessons within this myth. It teaches that fate, though inescapable, is not to be met with despair, but with resolve and dignity. The gods, knowing the outcome, choose to fight with valor, to protect what they love, and to sacrifice for the greater good. Through their example, we are reminded that even in the face of inevitable endings, our actions matter. Every cycle of destruction contains the seeds of a new beginning. So, as we reach the close of this epic tale, let us remember, Ragnarok is not just the end of the world. It is also the promise of a new dawn. When all seems lost, when the world is shrouded in darkness and flames, there remains the unyielding spark of hope. From the ashes, life returns, stronger and wiser for what has been endured. May this tale inspire you, as it has inspired generations before us, to face your own challenges with courage, honor, and hope. For after every ending, there is a beginning. And as long as there is hope, the story never truly ends.